All right, guys, welcome. We have pretty interesting 11 game slate to go over, and it's interesting because there's a lot of value, like a lot on this slate. There's going to be a few that are probably going to need a good amount of ownership, but I think it makes it for a good tournament slate, right? So, I'll just one example right off the back. Drew Eubanks, right now, probably going to get the most ownership on the slate, assuming he does start. I don't hate going to Thad Young at almost no ownership over Eubanks. Now, obviously, it's a risk, right? But Thad Young's a really good point per minute guy. He is a little more expensive, but that's just one example of okay, all the ownership's going to Eubanks. I think you can consider a guy like Thad Young, who's going to be basically, 5% or so, if assuming Eubanks starts. So that's just one example. There's a lot of those that you can make arguments for on this slate. So I think it's going to be a pretty fun one for tournaments. And yeah, so let's get into some questions, guys. Hope you guys had a good night last night. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to do live streams every single day, YouTube videos every single day. Check out football content. I have a video breaking down the Thursday Night Football show on Slate if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, so let's get to some questions. Yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming, right? So if you're only making one lineup like myself, that's where it's tough, right? This would be a good slate if you're building a ton of lineups, but when you only have one lineup to make, or if you're just a one-lineup person, you got to make some tough calls, especially for tournaments, right? So again, the way I play is mainly high-stake single entry, so a lot of the times I'm playing still a decent amount of the chalk, but trying to get different in a couple ways. So I'm not going to play all chalk tonight. Try to look to get to a couple pivots. But yeah, there's so much value. You got Beverly, Mikhailuk, Osman, Jaren Jackson, Eubanks, Steph, Doncic, and JV. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Again, Triple J, the one thing I'll say, I'm sure is he's such a frustrating roster, an 11-game slate. I'm personally probably not going to go there because I just don't want to deal with that headache. But he can definitely go for 35+ if he stays out of foul trouble. Brandon, what's up? What do you think about Ja, Chetty, Hart, Horford, JV, Beverly, Batum, and Bell and the Hornets? Okay, yeah, I think it's a solid tournament lineup. A little bit contrarian. I think the chalk build is definitely going to be that stars and scrubs since there's literally 20 value plays in play. So that mid-range is going to go very overlooked. But, again, Horford, my favorite play in the Celtics. You guys know I still like Jonas Valanciunas a lot. LaMelo Ball, I don't know if he gets a ton of ownership. And Cora, what's up, man? You think Chetty lets us down? He's definitely one of the better value plays, assuming he starts, just because the Cavs are thin, no love, no marketing. But you don't have to play Chetty Osman. You have C. Mikhailuk right there. You have the Timberwolves guys. You have this. There's just so many value plays that you can go to that, yeah, if you like Chetty, I agree. I think he's going to be one of the more popular plays. So you can definitely pivot in tournaments. You do not have to play him. Birch, Fee, Eubanks, Young, Niang, Chetty. Yeah, a lot of options there. Niang, my only concern with Niang, my only concern here is that he played really well last game, right? He went for almost 40 fantasy points. So what is that going to do? It's going to raise the ownership on him. There's a chance that Korkmaz closes over Niang, right? Niang closed last time, but there's a chance Korkmaz closes. So, of the two Philadelphia plays, I think both look pretty decent in Niang and Korkmaz being the two value options. I think I would prefer Korkmaz actually because he had a more subpar game. Svi or Chetty, I think it's basically a toss-up, right? I think both. Svi played 35 minutes, so maybe his minutes are a little bit more secure. Toronto loves running their starters big minutes. Where Chetty, there's no guarantee. They could add Lamar Stevens to the rotation. They could add Denzel Valentine. But Toronto seems pretty set in running their starters big minutes. You like Malik Beasley? I like Malik Beasley too. I think he gets pretty big minutes off the bench. I agree, yeah. Svi and Chetty both look good. Svi is never good chalk, so score independent. I agree, but he played 35 minutes. If you're going to give me 35 minutes from a scoring independent player at 3.5, 3.6, I'm willing to go there. There's literally, I'm not kidding, there's about 20 centers I want to play. Yeah. You're going to stay on the Luka train? I feel ya. I don't think I'm going to play him tonight, which means he's going to go off. Now, it's a much better matchup for Luka. but there's also it's 11 game slate. I don't hate James Harden for tournaments. Svi, Chetty, and Triple J are Hart, Chetty, and Batum. Does Triple J get in foul trouble? I don't know. It's 50% chance. So the second one's safer. Top fade of the slate. Who's going to be like pretty popular? I guess I'll say Embiid. Now, that's a scary one because I think Embiid has a ton of upside. I think a lot of sharps are going to be on him today. I agree he doesn't look like himself. There's been blowouts. I know those numbers, right? He's averaging like an insane usage rate without Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, but I don't know. That one's tough. I'll just say it because I think he's going to get a good amount of ownership, and there's so many good center plays in the slate. But I do like Embiid. It's just there's literally 20 centers I want to play. Yeah, JV or Embiid, price doesn't matter. If price doesn't matter, it's Embiid. But I think JV looks better point per dollar. Like he's averaging like 50 fancy points a game. Yeah, Trey Murphy, I don't think it's going to need a ton of ownership. We got to see my only concern about that with the Pelicans is for some reason Garrett Temple is on this roster and they want to play him minutes. God knows why. Like play your young guys, play Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy. If I was the coach, Garrett Temple would be cut. He would not be on the team. But for some reason they're giving him minutes, so that could muck up the rotation of like Murphy and Garrett Temple and Najee Marshall. So that's the one thing I'm concerned about there. Garland, Edwards, Osman, OG, Embiid, Graham, Beasley, and Eubanks. Favorite stud tonight? I don't know if I have one. There's so many good options. Beverly, Chetty, Beasley, Hart, Eubanks, Curry, Paul George, and JV. I think it's a solid build. That looks good too. Again, Horford is probably the guy I look to for Boston if I'm going to go to anyone. John, Katie, I don't think get a ton of ownership. I don't think those guys are going to be super popular. Are getting popped tonight. There's a chance, right? If Eubanks starts, you never know. He could play 10 to 15 minutes. So there's always that opportunity of getting popped. You got to have that in the back of your mind. Thoughts on Beasley? I like Beasley. Dame, Fred, Osman, Young, Eubanks, Edwards, McCallum, Valanciunas. Any interest in Gary Trent Jr.? He's fine. He has to hit his shots to get there, but he's fine. Guys, make sure if you're just coming in to hit that like button. We're at about 150 viewers already. Only 18 likes. Appreciate it. Shake Milton. Yeah, they said there's no limit for Shake Milton. I think he's a viable contrarian value play. I think a lot of people would look to Korkmaz and Yang. Milton probably going to come in at way less ownership. He still has upside. I'm still not over that, guys. I played Gary Trent 2 slates ago. He plays 23 minutes and then 44. Like, literally, they're just trolling me at this point. Like, I finally buy into Gary Trent, 23 minutes. The next game, 44. Like, that has to be a troll against me. It has to be. Luka, George, or KD? Luka. Thad Young, so there's risk with that. There's basically risk with any Spurs. Like, because it's Greg Pop. You got to know who his coach is. So, like, if you are new to DFS, you're going to get popped a lot. Tonight could be a night where you get popped. You get introduced to getting popped. And it could be a fact, or it could be a situation where Drew Eubanks starts. Everyone plays Eubanks, and he plays like 10 minutes. They give a ton of minutes to Thad Young. They give a ton of minutes to Jock Landale, and you get popped. So there's literally always that chance. I like Thad Young as a pivot off of Drew Eubanks. I think he plays the backup 5. There's not a guarantee of that. They could go to Jock Landale, the Olympic GOAT. But yeah, Murphy a pivot today. A little bit interested in him. Again, my one concern is Garrett Temple is now healthy, and they want to give him minutes for some reason. Luke Kennard, he's not going to get a ton of ownership. He's fine. Cavs did run an 8-man rotation. Yeah, that's why I think Chetty looks pretty solid. Dame, 50 burger yet? Not yet. I've been playing him a ton. He's been losing me a lot of money, just like Luka Doncic. I continue to play Dame. I continue to play Luka Doncic. I continue to lose money. Cat or JV? JV. Yeah, Luka. I think Luka's in a much better spot now. He does. Triple J literally has 3 fouls when he starts the game. Any Draymond love? I don't think Draymond's super popular, but kind of like him. There's no more minutes limit for him. He's been playing like 34 minutes a game, up the highest total game of the slate, and Draymond can still go for 50, right? He is triple-double upside. So, yes, I do like Draymond. I think he's going overlooked. Sphere, Pat Beverly, or Caruso, pick 2. I'll say the first 2, assuming Pat Beverly starts. Pat Beverly practiced in full yesterday, so I fully expect him to play. If Pat Beverly starts, I think he's a really good value. You had to play Embiid. I get it. I think Embiid's going to be popular. I do. I've seen that on Twitter probably 5+ times already today of his, what he's averaging point per minute. He's averaging like 2 fancy points per minute without Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. I agree. Embiid's going to dominate the usage. So he's, I think, going to get a good amount of ownership. The issue is just there's so many good center plays. Thoughts on Curry, LaMelo, Draymond, Svi, Osman, JV, Niang, and Eubanks? I think it's a solid build. The top ownership, I don't look at ownership at all, but I would guess it's going to be a lot of those value guys. Those guys sub 4K, I think, are going to get a lot of ownership. I don't think Ingram plays. He didn't play last night. I don't think Ingram plays. I'd rather play JV, the lower price version of Embiid. That's my lean, but I completely get if you want to go Embiid. Let me just say that. I am super scared of not having Joel Embiid in my lineup. I think he has insane upside. But yeah, Jonas Valanciunas is averaging 50 fancy points a game, really. He's playing 35 minutes a game. He's got a matchup against Sacramento. Most likely no Ingram. Trust me, I'm not confident in fading Embiid. I think he's a really scary fade just because we have Embiid's kind of like the Dame and Luka, right? We have yet to get the big Embiid game. I don't think Embiid is all of a sudden bad, right? He's still one of the better centers in the NBA. What I do think is an issue is I think that knee actually is bothering him. He doesn't look exactly the same, but Embiid. If Embiid goes for 70 tonight and burns me, I would not be surprised. Fox is someone, another throw that in the category of Dame and Luka that I keep trying to go to, and they keep having bad shooting games. He has been awful. Fox has been god awful this year. He's going to break out of his shooting slump eventually. He's still getting the minutes. He's still in a good matchup, so I don't hate that play in tournaments. Can you fade Eubanks and go to JV Embiid? That's an interesting argument there. So fading the chalk value in Eubanks, I think you could, and then double spend up for center. If I'm fading Drew Eubanks, I'm playing Thad Young, right? Because if you get popped and Eubanks doesn't get the minutes, most likely I think it's going to Thad Young, and he's a good point per minute guy. So I think you can do that and double spend up for center. If I do that, I'm playing Thad Young. I haven't really looked at prize picks at all. Let's see. So, yeah, hit on Kevin Porter Jr. last night, but missed on Luka. Let's just scroll through and see if anything stands out. I think I like the over in Steven Adams. He's another center I like. I think he's going to play as many minutes. Whenever Jokic is out there, I think Steven Adams is going to be out there. So I think I like the over on Steven Adams. I think I like the over on Draymond Green. This is FanDuel scoring, so you get 3 points for stealing the block, and Draymond Green is a guy that gets a lot of steals and blocks. So those would be the two, I think. Lillard's going to be low owned. If he has a good shooting game, he has a lot of upside. Any Randall or Sabonis love? Not really on Sabonis. Randall's fine. Mitchell or Svi? I think Svi. I'm more confident in his minutes. There's no way you don't play Embiid today. I get it, right? He's without everyone in a good matchup. I 100% get playing Joel Embiid. I think the upside is very high. So I'm not going to talk anyone off playing Embiid. Dame, Fred, Osman, Thad Young, Eubanks. I don't know if I play Thad and Eubanks together. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play Young. There's always that chance too, right? The Spurs, you cannot trust it. So, like, is there a chance Eubanks starts and then Jock Landale gets the backup 5 run? Sure. I don't trust Popovich one bit. I don't. So, like, that's possible too. Young or Ja? Probably Trey. I like the matchup a little bit better. You can't go Eubanks. I get it. Good old Popovich popping. Yeah. Again, if you play NBA DFS, you're going to get popped multiple times. Burcham played today. He's one of 20 centers I like. Now, he doesn't have a ton of upside, and you need the minutes to be like they were last few games. Is there a chance that Precious goes back to playing 25 to 30 minutes? Yeah. So, like, Burch is a pretty big risk. I guess Tatum over Brown, yeah. Chetty and Reddish or Caruso and Milton. I'll say the second one, just because I'm not super interested in Cam Reddish, unless John Collins gets ruled out. Now, if Collins gets ruled out, I would like the first. Going to JV and Embiid and fading the value elsewhere. I get it. If you want to double spend up at center, I think that's certainly viable. LaMelo for me over Cole. What do you think about Suggs? He's fine. Probably plays around 30 minutes. He has not shot the ball well, but the good thing with those Magic players, they're playing big minutes. Graham or NAW pains me, but I'll say Graham. Dean Wade starting. Yeah, see? We all thought it'd be Chetty. It goes to Dean Wade. So there's the first troll of the night. Dean Wade, not the best point per minute guy. Minutes-wise, I would say probably around 25 for him. I would still prefer Chetty off the bench than Dean Wade. So, yeah. Like, why do the Cavs just want to start 3 centers at all times? 3 bigs. Like, Dean Wade is literally a big. Why are you starting him at the 3? Like, Chetty fits perfectly to fill in for the 3, but the Cavs just want to play 3 centers at all time. Like, Evan Mobley is a center. Jared Allen is a center. You can make the argument that Dean Wade is a center. Right? Lauri Markkanen is like a 4 for sure. He's not a 3. They've been starting him at the 3. The Cavs just want to start 2 guards and 3 bigs. I don't know why. I don't know why they're so obsessed with that. Yeah, Rozier's going to be unowned. Yes, LaMelo Curry stack, I like that a lot for tournaments. Harden's fine. The Nets price points are up, but he's fine. If price doesn't matter, it's Cat. But I prefer JV point per dollar. Doncic, Fee, Beasley, Thad, Embiid, Beverly, Hart. No, I think that's fine. Is JV your favorite center option? He's one of my favorites. I like him a good amount. Would you play Powell as a safe play? I think there's more upside elsewhere. Like Dwight Powell doesn't really have an upside. Are we talking about, Dwight Powell or Norman Powell? Which Powell? Jokic, Curry, or Durant? Jokic should be the cash play there, I think. I think so. Yeah, the Cavs are on 8-man rotation, so I think Chetty still gets around 25. If you had to pick over-under on Luka, KD, Steph, what do you mean? News, Dean Wade starting, not Chetty Osman. So that's a little bit of a surprise. 3,900 for forward. Let's see. $3,900. Probably go see Mikhailuk at 37. Papev, Svi, Beasley, Hart, Embiid, Luka, Thad Young, JV. I think it's fine, yeah. Yeah, Dwight Powell. My issue with Dwight Powell is he really doesn't have an upside, right? He really doesn't. He'll probably get you around 20 fancy points, which is fine, sure. But like, there's other centers that just have way more upside. Like Eubanks at 3K, he has way more upside than Powell. Now, sure, there's a little more risk there. Game time decision for Collins. LaMelo over Van Fleet for me. Best 76er besides Embiid. I'll say Korkmaz. Got 11th in the $5 single entry, win $100 last night. Thanks, DK. Hey, man, good stuff. Ball, Beasley, Svi, Horford, Eubanks, Schroeder, Mobley, and Durant. Thoughts? Schroeder's not really someone I'm considering. I mean, he can have a ceiling game, but he doesn't really stand out to me, an 11-gamer. You can still play Chetty. Like, I still think Chetty plays mid-20s minutes, I would say. They ran an 8-man rotation last game, so I would think he plays 20 to 25 minutes. But now it's more of a risk. Yeah, now it's more of a risk. Thoughts on Cole Anthony, viable for tournaments. He's been playing out of his mind. Shake or Korkmaz? Korkmaz, but it's pretty close. I do like Shake, too. Melo or Fox? I think it's Melo. Thoughts on Steven Adams? One of the 20 centers I like. I think he's going to play almost as many minutes as Jokic. So I think Steven Adams, if he stays out of foul trouble, plays over 30 minutes. Hart, Rozier, or Suggs, Rozier? Ball, Van Fleet, or Ant-Man, Ball? Thoughts on Ingram if he's playing? I don't think he plays. If he does play, I think he's a good option. I don't think he plays, though. Shooting guard, forward, under 8,800. Shooting guard and forward, under 8,800. I'll say Van Fleet. Game stack, Warriors game. Robert Williams, one of the 20 centers. I prefer Horford to Robert Williams. So he's actually not one of the 20 centers I like. What else? All right, guys, I can stay on for a couple more minutes, but other than that, I got to make a few updates here and then get ready to stream for Patreon. Appreciate you guys coming to check out the YouTube stream. Appreciate the support. Gary Trent or Hart? I'll say Hart's safer. I think Trent is more upside. If we get 44 minutes of Gary Trent again, then that looks pretty good. Now, I'm not convinced we get that. Yeah, Edwards versus Van Fleet, the small lean to Van Fleet, but it's really close. Player council. I would appreciate if there's no player councils, like no playing everyone on the roster. Dawson Horford, my favorite play in the Celtics. Korkmaz. Yeah. Good luck, all. Yeah, guys, good luck. Let's hope for a good night. This one should be a fun one. It should be fun. Bogdanovich available. We're still waiting again on John Collins. Appreciate that, man. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, TK. All right, guys, I'm going to call it on that. So have a good night. Let's hope for some big winners, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow.